Talk World with Maria Pureza, and that's me. And of course, I still have my guest over here, Mr. Robert Morgen. And we were actually talking earlier about how to protect your assets. And before we get into our topic, I would like to say hi to Veronica Singh of Financial Mastery. Thank you for having you last week in my show, and we will get together again because I want to learn more about financial mastery in the future. Um,
She's a sponge, Veronica, a sponge.
yeah,
Soaking it up.
well, yeah, you know what? All these things, viewers, is actually very educational tools to help us in our day-to-day living. Do you agree with me on that,
Absolutely,
Robert? Yeah, and it's everything that you talked about earlier is very interesting, especially to all people out there. It's not because they don't want to learn or they don't want to know about all these things, but it's because they don't have time to do it. They just keep on actually earning their assets and without and not thinking.
Or losing them.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You made a really good point earlier about about the health insurance. My dad actually came from. My dad is an immigrant from the Philippines 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And when he came over here, he is not. He's not working because he's old. And when he got here, we couldn't get him health insurance. It's because he's not qualified for the government one. So we went to this marketplace.
Healthcare.gov.
Yes. So we got him an insurance, but it's kind of too late. He passed away. So yeah, but it's okay. It's ouch for me. I took care of all the bills and everything. As a matter of fact, I'm still paying for those things.
Yep.
And there's no way you can backdate it, right?
No. Well, and that's where, when we talk about the health insurance is about a third of what you really need. The health insurance, let me be very clear, there's two reasons why you want health insurance. Avoid the tax penalty, have a ticket to a hospital.
Yes.
That's it. Did you know that health insurance doesn't cover you?
No, I'm paying for it.
No, it doesn't cover you. Nope.
What do you
Health
mean?
insurance covers doctors and hospitals. It makes sure that they get paid.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay because God forbid if you ever need a hospital or a doctor, it's there for you.
Yeah, I have a question about that. We pay premium on our health insurance.
Yep.
Like it's really high, 200 something at workplace. But they don't cover the emergency, the 911, the emergency car.
Well, that's actually false. I don't know what kind of insurance you have at work, but if it is in fact a traditional health insurance carrier like United Healthcare, Health Plan of Nevada, Sierra Health and Life, Anthem Blue Cross, Cigna, Aetna, any of these types of companies, then emergencies are part of the 10 essential health benefits under the Affordable Care Act. If these essential services are not being offered, then I would really inquire with your employer because that means until next year you would be susceptible to a tax penalty.
Oh.
2.5% gross or $6.95 a person, whichever is greater, for not having the health insurance. Now, before all your comments start lighting up, no, the penalty went away. Yes, the penalty, otherwise known as the individual mandate, the Trump administration has removed it. However, it will not be in effect until plan year 2019. And all it simply means is that you will not be penalized for not having health insurance.
Oh, wow.
But for responsible, mature folks like you and me and
the viewers.
And your viewers, you're going to have the health insurance anyway, so
Yeah.
you're not really getting away with anything.
Yes. It's a huge devastation if you don't have an insurance and something happens.
Sure.
I've been there, so I know.
Right.
Yeah, so I know. Well, like what I was telling you earlier, when I was watching your video, viewers go ahead and watch or go to his website, askrobertmorgan.com, and you'll be able to follow me of what I'm gonna start talking about.
Yeah.
Is the bill
The ourcarebill.org. Yes, Health Markets, the agency that I'm contracted with, about a year-ish ago, they created a movement. It's the Our Care movement. Because in the end, this is about us. This is our health insurance. This is our health care. It's not Obamacare. It's not Trump care. It's our care. And what this movement has created, and you can find this on Facebook if you search Facebook for Our Care, also Twitter, Our Care. The website is ourcarebill.org. And anybody who knows anything about websites, I want you to pay attention to that .org. This is a non-selling website. We're not trying to find creative ways to simply try to push product in front of you. What Our Care does, it enables everyday folks like you and I to legitimately have a voice in healthcare legislation. You can build your own healthcare bill. Legitimately build your own healthcare bill. It doesn't take 4 hours. You don't need to be an expert in healthcare legislation. It just simply walks you through a battery of questions asking what's important to you. And as a result, it creates a healthcare bill that you can tweet directly to President Trump. And you can also send it to politicians here in Nevada, for example, in Carson City or downtown Las Vegas. I'm sure your viewers are from all parts in the United States. So you can create your own healthcare bill, send it to your congressmen, send it to your senators, send it to your governors, and let your voice be heard in what we want our health care to look like. The health care as it stands right now, it's not just us, the consumers, that are being affected. It's the providers. Well, who's a provider? A provider is a doctor. It's your regular old family doctor. It's your OB. It's your internist. It's your specialists like your surgeons. It's hospitals, correct. Urgent care. It's anywhere where you would receive treatment or service within the medical community. These are providers. And providers have experienced quite a challenge under the Affordable Care Act. Not passing the plate for the surgeon making $300,000 a year, and I'm certainly not passing the plate for the prescription medication industry. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to get it where we want it to be. But isn't it nice to know that there is a mechanism in place that we can go right now, create our own health care bill, and send that bill to our politicians, including President Trump. Is it everything? No. But if more people take a step back, realize, let's quit complaining, let's stop pointing the finger, let's come together.
And do your work.
Do your job. Do your job as a consumer, as a citizen.
Exactly.
Here's an opportunity to have a legitimate sounding board. Here's a way to create your own health care bill. What do you want your health care to look like? Ourcarebill.org.
So,
get it done.
Yes, a plan for what has to be done. And technically, this this legislation actually, this is the community pay for them. So let's do our job is speak out. Our voice actually matters.
Right. Our voice matters when it's a collective voice, when government can't ignore it, when you've got one or two people that make a very compelling story on Facebook and post it to 100 or 500 or 1,000 people on Facebook, that's cute. But when hundreds of thousands of us can band together and find a way to send our message to our politicians, we become increasingly difficult to ignore. Should it be that way? Probably not. But that's the way it is. So let's take what we have and let's change it the best way that we can. But let's do it objectively. Let's do it objectively. I don't care what color your skin is or what God you pray to. It's a human right to be able to live a healthy, happy life. There's a debate over whether health insurance or health care is a right or a privilege. I'm not here to get into that. I'm too close to the industry.
We're staying away from politics.
We're staying away from that. But But there is opportunity for us as citizens, as consumers, people that we know, need this coverage. Even if you're not a sick person, health insurance isn't for when you're sick. Health insurance is there to cover everyday bumps and bruises, but health insurance is also there to tackle the things that you cannot foresee. How often do you go to the doctor?
I think I went to the doctor a year ago.
Okay, so you're a pretty healthy person. You look like you take care of yourself. She looks like she eats well, doesn't she, audience? Yes, pipe up in the messages. The point is that for somebody like you, you just need preventative care. You need to make sure that if, God forbid,
Something
when
happens.
you're coming home at 6 o'clock in the evening, minding your own business, waiting at a red light, and some dummy behind you texting and driving slams into you at 30 miles an hour and puts your head through a windshield or cracks your neck. Could you plan for that?
No, those are the accidents of
Exactly.
things that happens.
What if you eat something and you didn't realize you were allergic to it, or you went to a restaurant and the food was bad? Nothing against restaurants, stuff happens,
Yeah.
but this is why we get insurance. So what I explained
To
to protect.
And the number one asset is yourself, your body.
Well,
that's your number one
correct.
asset.
Look, how many people have homeowners insurance, renter's insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, all very important. I'm not poo-pooing it. But the one insurance that most people pay little attention to is health insurance.
Exactly. And that's the most important thing.
The most important thing. Look, it's not the most important thing when it comes to the type of insurance, but it's the most important thing to make sure that you have access to doctors and specialists.
Exactly. Yes,
okay?
Exactly.
I always explain to my healthy clients,
Uh-huh.
my prediction for you this plan year is that 80% of what's going to happen to you is, guess what? Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Probably.
Probably. That's my point. So there's this 15 to 20% chance something's going to happen. Is it worth the risk?
No.
Probably not. So as an agent, now I spent, I'd say all of 2017 finding real options, alternatives to Obamacare. And there's a few out there. They're not perfect, neither is Obamacare. They're not end-all, be-all options. It comes with a conversation, and one would have to care enough about their own health and longevity to want to learn about these options. To kind of give everybody an idea what I'm referring to, there's a product out there called short-term health. One of the products that are out there that's been around for about 6-7 years that's really becoming a staple in my industry is Ministry Health Share. And there's a few of them out there. They don't all work the same, but they do have some commonalities. There's a particular carrier that I represent. I'm not going to name drop because I don't want to be that guy. But what I'm saying is that if you have a genuine need deep down inside and you know you need the coverage, but you're tired of those high Obamacare premiums, there are options out there, okay? But the real thing is to make sure that when you look at assets, I need to cover my assets. So I have this health coverage. That's going to give me protection if I'm hospitalized or need a doctor. But what if I can't work? What if there are expenses beyond your deductibles, co-insurances, maximum out-of-pockets, prescription medications, and copays? What if you need medical durable goods? What if you have to not work for a month? What if you need home health care? Well, that's where products like supplemental insurance come in. Okay?
Is that a part of life insurance or no?
Sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes. Some life insurance policies do include what are called LBs or living benefits. And it just depends on you and your budget. It depends on family history. Again, it comes with that conversation. Sometimes it's better to go with a life insurance policy that offers living benefits so that you can get your hands on 90 to 100% of your death benefit while you're still living. But it takes a critical illness, it takes a terminal illness, or it takes a chronic illness to be able to access those funds. And so for some clients, it's best to look at different life insurance options, but still have a element of supplemental insurance, things like hospital confinement, critical illness, and accident protection, because these supplemental products will pay a direct cash benefit to you, not doctors, not hospitals. And because it's an insurance benefit, it's not income. So there's no tax liability.
Wow, that's a pretty good one. I think that's actually, I heard about that, but it's actually accidental insurance or supplemental, probably supplemental. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty.
Well, and buyer beware, because there's a lot of really creative salesmen out there that are positioning very
trying
bloated.
to get you in.
Right. Well, there are certain products out there. They're not bad products, but when improper agents are trying to make a buck on you, and they're positioning these products for something that they're not, that's when they become volatile. So you have to understand what you're getting. Is what I'm buying a health insurance policy? Is what I'm buying short-term medical? Is what I'm buying ministry health share? Is what I'm buying fixed indemnity, critical illness, hospital confinement?
Wow,
I'm
there's a lot out
overwhelming
there.
you, yeah, and I'm
Yes,
overwhelming you on
exactly.
purpose.
Yeah, yes, you do. And honestly, these are different insurance to protect everything.
It's all to protect your financial asset, because at the end of the day, what is insurance? It's a spread of risk. It's other people's money, and the reason why you get insurance is to protect your financial interest. So you could have money saved up, and that's great, but it probably wasn't there for the purposes of medical debt. Okay? That's why you get supplemental, life, health, disability.
All the type of protection that
Right.
you could get.
Well, and what I explain to clients is that if you do it my way and you take, for example, we'll say with Obamacare, you get the lowest metal level policy, a bronze policy. You're healthy. You're not on many medications. If you take that bronze policy and you couple it with some basic critical illness, accident, and hospital confinement supplemental protection, in addition to a life insurance policy. Life insurance is a whole different show. But you want to make sure that supplemental benefits are also known as living benefits. So if you have those living and death benefits through a life insurance policy coupled with your health insurance, I call that a blended premium. It's all 3-4 types of insurance all together as a package. And when you look at what each one is going to cost and you add it all up, that gives you that whole premium. That's what you're going to pay every month. But when you compare what I would do with that bronze, that supplemental, and that life insurance next to a gold policy, you're going to find that my way is actually less expensive. I didn't say cheap. There's no such thing as cheap.
No.
It's less expensive, it's more affordable, and you're getting a much greater comprehensive level of coverage. Because now we're putting in a component that's going to pay you a direct cash benefit if something happens. So I can cover that $73.50 maximum out of pocket. So I can cover 80-90% of what puts you into a hospital. I'll have a claim for you on my supplemental. But that means that there's a 20% chance, 10 to 20% chance that there won't be a claim. Nothing's perfect, but you know what, Maria?
What?
I like those odds.
Well, these are all actually, like what he said, it's overwhelming me. And
It's a lot of stuff.
yeah, it's a lot of information.
AskRobertMorgen.com.
Yes, go on his website, ask
Go to my
Robert
Facebook,
Morgen.
too.
Yeah, and he also have his own Facebook.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be actually collaborating all of these
There's
things.
a collab. There's a
Yeah.
collab. What do you
Yeah.
think? Put it in the comments.
And I'm so glad that I have you this week.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We're running out of time, and we could actually keep go on and on.
You got to shut me up, Maria. That's what you're going to learn about me.
You know what?
Yeah.
I love it. I love all the information that you
Great.
guys love it. Viewers, we need to protect our assets. It's not because we have those assets actually set in there. We have our money in our bank. It doesn't matter how much money we have in the bank if we don't have actually any plan in protecting these assets. It can
Could be
go
gone like that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Robert. It's an honor to have you,
No, thank you.
in my show, and I will be streaming your video.
Great.
Yeah.
OurCareBill.org.
And viewers, thank you so much for staying with me, and also we still have Maria and Joe Live TV coming up, and I have a really good guest co-host on the show, and you will love it. We will be talking about fashion, spring fashion, about Easter, and all about fun. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Thank you.